Hey everyone, what's up? This is Jamie. I'm going to show you how I prepare just egg every morning. I've been having this every morning for over a year now, and I feel like I've got a really good handle on how to prepare it. A lot of people on the vegan groups have been asking, what is it? How is it? What's the best way to prepare it? So instead of just chiming on everyone, I want to have a video that I show. I'm into the most efficient way to cook it, and that's the microwave, which obviously introduces a bunch of problems with making it rubbery and whatnot. So I'm going to show you how to avoid all of that. And as a bonus, I'm going to be cooking it with the Beyond sausage, which in my mind, the patties, not the links, the patties, not the spicy, the classic. These are the best breakfast sausages, hands down. Until the Impossible patties become available at stores, this is my go-to, and I'm going to show you how I integrate that into this. So first of all, we have just egg. We have onion powder, we have black pepper, and we have Johnny seasoning salt. And we're gonna do all of these, not measured, but just kind of a general amount, and you'll see what those amounts are. And then I have measuring spoons because I just wanna demonstrate to you what a serving size looks like. You don't necessarily need these. For just egg, serving size is 3 tablespoons. And that's interesting because 3 tablespoons is 70 calories. 3 tablespoons is not a lot. So the amount that I have is 6 tablespoons for a total of 140 calories. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna put them in our containers, and you can see that there's 2 containers here. One of them has tons of scratch marks, so that's because this is what I use to mix with a fork, and the other container is what I use to put on top. Now these containers are typically reused from microwavable dishes, things from, say, Trader Joe's, like the microwavable soups. So rather than throwing them away or even recycling them, I keep them and I use them for this purpose. There are other things like this Ziploc one that they are not good because they're textured on the bottom. The egg sticks to this. So you want something that's smooth on the bottom. Even with the scratches from the fork, it's still smooth enough to work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure out just egg. You shake it first so that everything mixes. This is what 3 tablespoons looks like. So that's 3 tablespoons, not a lot. So we're gonna do 6. And it's also worth noting that sometimes the consistency of the just egg is different. Sometimes it's runnier, sometimes it's thicker. All right, so there's our 6 tablespoons. So now we're gonna start seasoning it. First thing is Johnny seasoning salt, just enough to cover the surface like that. And then onion powder. I put just about that much in, a little onion mountain. And then black pepper, you put a lot in. So this is kind of what it should look like, a nice pile of seasonings all on the top. And then you take your fork and you mix. And then even at this point, it's safe to eat. So I taste it. It tastes great. It's the seasonings, it's this, it's all very pleasant. That's how I know that everything's fine, nothing's spoiled. The seasoning amounts are just right. Now, I'm going to do this crazy bit, which is taking one of these patties, putting it in here, submerging it just enough. 2 tablespoons will do just that, getting it around, and now it's time to microwave. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in the microwave for 1 minute. We're gonna put this lid on it. It's an 1100 watt microwave, I believe. We're putting the lid on it, 1 minute. You can't keep it in there the entire time because it gets gummy. So I'll show you how we're gonna work around that. Notice there's no cheese, not putting any of that in, keeping the consistency the same. So this goes on, doesn't have to be a tight fit, a loose fit is fine. Okay, so after a minute, it looks like this. Lots of moisture on the top, still moisture in here, and it's starting to take shape. The patty in the middle is just becoming unfrozen, so it's time to cut it all up and then mix everything. If you skip this step, your eggs are going to become too hard to scramble, and they're going to become gummy. You can already kind of see the gummy consistency starting to form, but we're actually preventing it by doing this step. So you'd cut it, you'd mix it with the fork, whatever you need to do to break this up. We can still see that there's lots of moisture inside, which is great. Now, we're going to get everything off the fork. This is good enough, and we're gonna do it again. This time, we're gonna do it for 30 seconds. Okay, this is what it looks like after 30 seconds. You can see that there's still moisture. There's a lot less of it. Things are easier to scramble. The sausage is softer, and you want to get that in as many small chunks as you can. The way that I'm going to be using this is in a breakfast burrito, so it makes sense to have everything mixed up. Obviously, the level of granularity is up to you. Also, this is extremely hot. There's a ton of heat that's trapped in the sausage, that's trapped in the egg. Now we're gonna put it in for 30 more seconds. And while that's going, I'm gonna show you this. It's time to put all of this stuff away. I squeeze the bottle to get as much air out as possible. Then I put the lid on tight and it stays, and there's not a lot of air in there. So it's really, really good to prevent it from spoiling. All right. And after the second time around, you can start to see things are getting much drier and fluffier. Nothing's gummy, nothing's weird. And this is a good consistency right here for the breakfast burrito. If you wanted to go further, you could. You can see that there's still moisture on the bottom. And again, this is extremely hot. Now, I'm gonna show you the secret ingredient that makes all of this. If you stuck with me this long, this is very, very valuable. This you get at Costco. You can see how much of it I've used. I use it almost exclusively on these eggs. This blend of green chilies from Costco, this specific brand is spicy, medium spice, and when it's in here, it makes the entire thing. It actually tastes like a breakfast burrito. So what I do is I have it in a separate container, and in this separate container, I put this in the fridge, and I put this in the freezer, and I thaw this out anytime that I need to use it, because that amount doesn't keep in the fridge. So what I'm gonna do now is take a fork and I'm gonna try to get as much liquid off of this as I can, because it just makes a wet mess. And I used to put this in before microwaving. Now I'm doing it after. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. About that much, mix this in. And what you have here is a breakfast mix that is just to die for. This blend of flavors leaves an aftertaste in your mouth when you're done that makes you just stop in your tracks and just close your eyes and just enjoy the flavors that are still lingering in your mouth. And I don't know of many other foods that do that. So you can see it's a beautiful scramble. It's seasoned wonderfully, and combined with this sausage, it is just fantastic. You need to be able to cover it. You need to be able to take it out every 30 seconds. The first time it's 1 minute. And you need to be able to keep it scrambled and cut everything up with it. And then at whatever point you want, you can add this. And this is 140 calories plus the 90 calories, I believe, for the sausages. And this is the foundation of a wonderful breakfast burrito. This is the phase where you add cheese. You do not add it into this mix. I use Mission tortillas. I use the soft taco size, 140 calories. And then for the cheese, the Violife Colby Jack shreds, the cheddar slices, the aged cheddar slices, or the provolone, smoked provolone, which is an amazing combination with all of this. Those are great. For some reason, the Violife cheddar shreds don't have the same flavor as the cheddar slices. So right now we're doing Colby Jack shreds. I have a plate. A serving of these shreds is 1/4 of a cup, and it's 85 calories, so extremely fatty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to divide this on 1/2, because when I fold it like this, what's going to happen is the cheese needs to go to be dispersed through the whole thing. The shreds are harder to work with, obviously, than the slices. The slices you break in half and you put down. And now that I have this, I take my cooking spray and boop, boop. On the panini press right now is the potato patty, and it's cooking and it's gonna be super crispy. This is gonna share a panini press with the potato patty, and thanks to this oil, the outside is gonna be fluffy and delicious, and the inside's gonna be melty and gooey. So I'm gonna go put this on there, flip it once after about 1.5 minutes, and then put it back down under pressure, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we go. You notice that I only sprayed one side because the fat from the potato patties comes out on the panini press, and that works very well for the other side as well. So when you open it, it should look like this, gorgeous. tons of heat. These potato patties are super crisp. This is just big enough to do that. You set that down, you put your mix in, and the mix has had time to cool, which is important because all the flavors kind of settle. When it's really, really hot, it's not as flavorful. Oh, I can just smell it right now. Those green chilies they make a world of difference. So you can see here, you got a beautiful scramble. I don't think that this is offensively spicy. I think that it's just the right amount of spice. I'm not sensitive to spice, but I can tell that I don't think this is gonna trigger anyone. Now the problem you might have is with all of these quantities, it's gonna be hard to fold this, and it's gonna be hard to put it in a burrito because you need to roll one end. And that's just, you gotta deal with it, you know? Life just isn't fair sometimes. So the calorie count is 140 calories for the just egg, 140 calories for the potato patty, 140 calories for the tortilla, 85 calories for the cheese, and 90 calories for the sausage. So you're looking at just under 600 calories for this. It's very filling and it's very delicious. So that is my breakfast burrito. I have it every day, and I'm gonna eat this right now. So thanks for watching.